Hey guys, welcome back to the world of English exams. As you can see, today's video is going to explain you about what are the band descriptors for writing task 1 of the IELTS exam. Knowing the complete information about band descriptors is particularly helpful for you to achieve a higher band score such as 8 or 9. So if you know these band descriptors and the complete information regarding them, you may give a better standard of performance now that you know on what criteria your essays and your reports or letters are marked. So without any further delay, let's start today's video. So, what exactly are band descriptors? So, as you might be aware of, the IELTS score is calculated in bands. So, you don't get in the form of marks, but the score is given in the form of a range, which is called a band. So, there are 9 band points which can be given to you, and also half band scores are allotted. So, the band ranges from 0 to 9. So, and these band descriptors are basically the criteria for grading, and each band descriptor which are shown here is going to amount to 25% of the overall score. Then if you might think that there are common band descriptors for writing and speaking, then you are mistaken. There are separate band descriptors for writing and speaking, and to be much more precise, there are separate and unique band descriptors for writing task 1 as well as task 2, although there are some common factors as well. Then if you know the information about band descriptors, then you can self-evaluate your performance. Just by looking at the table which I am going to show is going to give you a lot of insight into how you can improve your performance all by yourself. So what are we waiting for? Let's check out what these band descriptors are, and then I am going to exemplify and show you the grading pattern step by step. So for the task 1, for both academic as well as general writing, these are the band descriptors. The first one is called task achievement. As you know, the IELTS writing test would contain 2 tasks. The first one could be a report or a letter, and the second task is an essay. So task achievement has something to do with the fulfillment of the requirements as per what you have to write the task and how you should complete writing it, and what is considered to be an appropriate report and an appropriate letter in this case. Then we have coherence and cohesion, which basically means the flow of ideas in a logical and sequential way. Then there is lexical resource, which has to deal with the range of vocabulary that you need to use while writing. Finally, the fourth band descriptor is grammatical range and accuracy, which means that while writing you need to ensure that you're using a wide range of grammar such as tenses, active voice and passive voice, indirect speech, and conditional sentences and so on. So if you're showing a range of grammar and if your sentences are accurate and related to the context, then you have a high chance of scoring a good score for grammatical range and accuracy. So once again, just to recapitulate, the 4 band descriptors for both academic and general writing task 1 are task achievement, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy. So now this table which I am going to show you summarizes the context of all these band descriptors in detail. Okay, so now this table, as you can see, the heading is given as IELTS Task 1 Writing Band Descriptors, and this is the public version. It is easily available, but what is meant by these criteria, how to understand these, that is the challenge, right? So in the public version of this table, you can clearly see that the respective band scores are highlighted towards the extreme left. Can you see? For example, today I am going to focus on describing the criteria from band 6 to band 9. So that might be the target range for all the candidates who are going for the test, and that's the reason today I have selected these band descriptors from band 6 to band 9. So let me enlarge and show you one by one, and then let's see what is essentially required in order to get a higher band score. We will first start with the factor called task achievement. Okay, so now this table basically summarizes the criteria that are required for task achievement. So if you are getting a band 6, then in order to get a band 6, you need to address the requirements of the task, which means you have to satisfy whatever the question prompt is asking you to do. Then specifically, if you just look at the line below, that is here, you can see that it's clearly mentioning academic. So what is the requirement for academic task 1? Presents an overview with information appropriately selected. Guys, this is a very important paragraph in your report which has to be written after the introduction. We have informative videos regarding all the academic task 1 reports on our YouTube channel World of English Exams. So do check them out, and there I have clearly mentioned what an overview is and how you have to write an overview. So unless and until you write this paragraph summarizing the significant points, which is called overview, you are not entitled to get a 6. So in order to get a band score of 6, you must ensure that the overview is clearly presented. Then if at all you are writing the general training test, then as you can see, for general training under band 6, it's clearly given presents a purpose that is generally clear. So why are you writing the letter? Whom are you addressing it, and what is the specific purpose to write a letter? That must be clearly demarcated in order to get a 6. But there is a small thing here. There may be inconsistencies in the tone. What is meant by inconsistencies? It means that you are not very clear, although you may present a specific purpose. So if the purpose is stated, even though there are certain inaccuracies in the choice of tone, that is, instead of writing a formal tone, if you may use an informal tone in a sentence or two, even then you are entitled to get a band 6. So that is the meaning of that point. Now let's see the last point. Presents and adequately highlights the key features or bullet points, but details may be irrelevant, inappropriate or inaccurate. So these 3 words are very important: irrelevant, inappropriate, inaccurate. So what is the meaning of irrelevant? Whatever the question prompt is asking you to do, maybe you are deviating from that central topic and what the bullet point is specifying. And just as an added note, every general letter question prompt will contain 3 bullet points. So make sure that you are writing 3 body paragraphs specifying each bullet point in detail in a separate paragraph. Please do not mix up all of them and write it in one paragraph. That is seriously going to be a negative factor. So what is the meaning of irrelevant? As I told you, you are deviating from the idea. Then inappropriate also means that the choice of tone and the choice of words are not appropriate for the task. And the final one is inaccurate. So whatever you are writing is not suitable for the given prompt. So then all these inaccuracies are leading to a lower band score of 6. Now let's see what is going to give you a band 7. So a person who is going to get a band 7 covers the requirements of the task. Can you see the first point there under band 7? Covers the requirements of the task. That means we are very successful in attempting the question completely and to cover everything appropriately. Now for academic and general, it is again designated separately. Now let's look at that. Academic presents a clear overview. Guys, please highlight this point. Presents a clear overview. What does the overview contain? It contains the main trends, differences or stages. So there are various types of reports like bar charts, pie charts, line graphs, tables, maps, flow chart, diagram, process. So the overview must contain 3 things. If you can clearly observe, and please make a note of these points because this is what the overview must contain. Firstly, it should contain the main trends, which means the highest point and the lowest point. Then differences. So if there are any significant variations, you must portray them, you must write about them. Then the third one, stages. So in case you're describing a process, the process will have multiple stages, isn't it? So you must make sure that all the stages are represented well. Of course, you need not write the details about what happens during each and every stage, but do highlight how many stages are there, and you may also give details about the first stage and the last stage, or the initial stage and the final stage. That is called an overview. If the overview is very clear, then definitely you are going to get a band 7. Then in the case of general training test, presents a clear purpose. So as we already discussed, specifying the purpose clearly and accurately is the key to get a higher band score for general training IELTS writing test. Then with the tone consistent and appropriate. Then clearly presents and highlights the key features or bullet points, but could be more fully extended. So which means you are attempting to cover all the bullet points, though it is very brief. So you are not extending the points, and that's the reason you are not getting to that band score of 8 and 9. So I hope you understood this. Now let's quickly jump to band 8. So all of us might be targeting band 8 or band 9. So for which you need to satisfy the following steps. Covers all requirements of the task sufficiently. This is the key. If you cover the bullet points, yes, you are going to get a 7. But if you are covering it sufficiently and addressing the task completely, then you have a chance of scoring an 8 band. Then presents, highlights and illustrates the key features or bullet points clearly and appropriately. So the more clear you are with your explanation, the more specific you are in describing the details, the better you have a chance to score. Then looking at band 9, fully satisfies. So please do note this point. Fully satisfies all the requirements of the task. So whatever is the requirement of the task, make sure that you are covering it. And if you look at a sample report question, you will see that you have to summarize the data, interpret it and highlight the key features. So these are the 3 requirements. I repeat once again, you have to summarize the details, you have to interpret the data, and you have to signify the key points such as variations and comparisons. Then clearly presents a fully developed response. So all the responses, whether it is for academic or general, are clearly and fully developed. Then the band score would be 9. So I hope you got a clear idea about task achievement. Now let's proceed in understanding the second band descriptor, that is coherence and cohesion. So similar to the earlier band descriptor, that is task achievement, I will help you to understand this band descriptor also in detail. Now let's start from band 6. So as I told you earlier, coherence means the range of ideas that you get which are relevant to the topic. Once again, coherence relates to the ideas that are relevant to the topic, and cohesion means the way you link those ideas. So the better you generate ideas and the better you connect those ideas and make them in the form of a paragraph, that is called coherence and cohesion. That's simple. Then for band 6, arranges information and ideas coherently, and there is a clear overall progression. So the meaning of progression is that there is a continuity from one sentence to another sentence, which means you are sufficiently linking the sentences and ideas together. Uses cohesive devices. Cohesive devices are those words and phrases which can help you to link the ideas together. On our YouTube channel World of English Exams, I have clearly made a video about cohesive devices, which are also called linking words. So you can see the link for that in the description box below. I am clearly giving it in the description, so don't forget to check that out. So uses cohesive devices effectively, but cohesion within or between the sentences may be faulty. So you are making an attempt to use cohesive devices, although it is not always appropriate. That's why the score is dropping down to a 6. Then the last point, may not always use referencing clearly. So what is the meaning of referencing? It means that you are referring one sentence to the earlier one, or the sentence which you have written prior to that. So if the referencing is proper, then definitely you will get a band above 6. And that referencing is also called signposting. Once again, Referencing is also called signposting, with which you are showing the reader that you are progressing, or the essay is progressing, or the letter is progressing from one paragraph to another paragraph. This is called cohesion. So the way you link the paragraphs and ideas is going to be a crucial factor in deciding your score. Now let's quickly jump to a band 7. Logically organizes the information. Have you observed the key, guys? So person who is getting a band 6 arranges the information. However, in order to get a band 7, you have to be really logical in organizing the information. There is a clear progression throughout. Uses a range of cohesive devices. Please note this point. Uses a range of cohesive devices appropriately, although there is some overuse or underuse, which means you are using too many cohesive devices, or very less number of cohesive devices. Then the score will be a 7. Now let's see what are the positive features that can take your score to an 8 for coherence and cohesion. Sequences information and ideas logically. Yes, that is registered. So if you have to get a band over 7, then definitely the ideas have to be arranged logically. Manages all aspects of cohesion very well. Uses paragraphing sufficiently and appropriately. So what do you understand by this, guys? You have to ensure that you know how many paragraphs to write and what paragraphs should be written and how they must be organized. That will give you a band 8. Let me give a detail about this. In the case of a report, you have to start with an introduction, followed by that you have to write an overview, then body paragraphs. I repeat, introduction, body paragraphs, overview, or introduction, overview, body paragraphs. So this is the structure you need to follow, and these are the paragraphs. In the case of a letter, you have to start it with an introduction, then write the 3 body paragraphs in view of the 3 bullet points that are given, then the conclusion. I repeat, introduction, 3 body paragraphs, conclusion. So this is the structure of paragraphing. Then if you follow this appropriately and logically, if you can arrange the sentences and paragraphs one after the other, then your score would definitely reach to an 8. Now let's see what gives you a band 9. Uses cohesion in such a way that it attracts no attention. This point may seem confusing, so let me explain about this. We'll read that once again. Uses cohesion in such a way that it attracts no attention. What is the meaning of this is, if your letter or report contains details which are not understandable, then definitely the person who is evaluating them has to pay some attention in order to understand. However, if you write the report and letter in such a way that it attracts no attention, then definitely it is a perfect band 9 scoring letter or report. That's what it means. Then the next point, skillfully manages paragraphing. So you need to be really skillful in using the right cohesive devices and the appropriate use of them, not overuse or underuse, in order to get a high band score. I hope this is clear. Now let's quickly understand the next factor, that is lexical resource. So as I told you, lexical resource refers to the range of vocabulary or the variety of vocabulary. So the more the range, the better you will score. Now let's start learning and understanding the criteria from band 6. So band 6 score for lexical resource is given when a candidate uses an adequate range of vocabulary. So the meaning of adequate is wide enough, sufficient range. So you are not showing a wide range, however you are just using those words which are enough for the task. Then attempts to use, the very important point, guys, attempts to use less common vocabulary. What is the meaning of less common vocabulary? Words which we do not use in our day-to-day communication. Such words are called less common vocabulary. So this candidate who is getting a band 6 attempts to use such less common vocabulary, but with some inaccuracy. Though the words are used, they are not always accurate. That's why the score is 6. Then makes some errors in spelling. Very important, guys. Not just using the words, but spellings also play an important role, since the IELTS is an English proficiency test. So make some errors in spelling and word formation. but they do not impede the communication. So even though the spellings are wrong, they don't necessarily alter or maybe change the complete meaning. So communication is not impeded. However, because you are making a lot of spelling mistakes, the score would drop down to a 6. Now let's see the factor for band 7. Uses a sufficient range of vocabulary to allow some flexibility. So if your word choice is allowing flexibility, then definitely you are going to get a band 7. And not just that, along with flexibility, you also should show precision, which means accuracy, precise, sufficient. Okay, then uses less common lexical item with some awareness of style and collocation. If at all you are looking for a band 7, collocations play a major role, guys. Do not skip learning them. And on our channel, YouTube, World of English Exams, we are soon going to release many collocations for you, which you can use it both for writing as well as speaking. So do stay tuned to our channel for this. Then the next factor says may produce occasional errors in word choice, spelling or word formation. If the number of errors are lower, then definitely if the errors are less, the score will be more. As simple as that. Now let's see these factors for band 8. Uses a wide range of vocabulary. Have you noted it, guys? Band 7 descriptors say uses a sufficient range. However, for band 8, it is telling uses a wide range of vocabulary, that too fluently and flexibly to convey the precise meaning. So accuracy and flexibility both are very, very essential. Then skillfully uses less common or uncommon lexical items, but there may be occasional inaccuracies. So even if you make some spelling mistakes or choice of words, even though it is inappropriate occasionally, your score will not drastically drop down. Maybe you may get an 8. Then the next one again is showing inappropriacies or inaccuracies in word choice and collocation. Produces rare errors in spelling or word formation. Now let's jump to band 9 for lexical. Uses a wide range of vocabulary with very natural and sophisticated control. So you need to know which words to use and how to use them, where to use them appropriately. That is called sophisticated control. And rare or minor errors only occur as slips. So maybe if the errors are very rare, then you're going to get a band 9 for lexical resource. So what did we understand from this, guys? In order to score high for lexical, you need to know, you need to understand about collocations, and you need to be aware of the style of writing, and you need to know what are the uncommon or less common lexical items. So if you can jot down these main points and practice according to these criteria, then nobody can stop you from getting a higher band score. Now let's jump to the last band descriptor, which is called grammatical range and accuracy. So similarly, we are going to look at the ranges from 6 to 9 for grammatical range and accuracy. For band 6, uses a mix of simple and complex sentence structures. So there are various types of sentences like simple sentences, compound sentences, complex sentences, passive sentences, active sentences, conditional sentences, and using subordinate clauses. So you have to do all this, guys. You have to show that you know the grammar perfectly and appropriately in order to get a higher band score. However, if you are using a mix of simple and complex sentences, then the score would be a 6. Then make some errors in grammar and punctuation. Very, very important, guys. Please underline this. Punctuations are very important. And as you can see, if the appropriate punctuations are not used, then the score is 6. But they rarely reduce communication. Even though punctuations are not appropriately used, they don't impede communication to a large extent. That's what it means. Then let's look at band 7. Uses a variety of complex structures. Are you able to see? Which means you have to practice the various ways to write a complex sentence. And we have already seen, and I have already given a video about types of sentences, so which I am going to link in the description box. So please check that and practice accordingly. Then the second point, produces frequent error-free sentences. That means mostly all your sentences are error-free. Then has good control of grammar and punctuation, but may make a few errors. So even though you are able to control the way you are writing a sentence, there are few mistakes. So the score will be 7. Now let's look at band 8 for grammatical range and accuracy. Uses a wide range of sentences structures. The majority of sentences are error free. Makes only very occasional errors or inappropriacies. So as you can see, for each and every error you make, you are reducing your score by yourself. So please avoid making that. Know the structure perfectly, know how to use grammar properly, practice the sentences and tenses with punctuations well. Now lastly, we will look at the criteria for band 9. Uses a wide range of sentence structures with full flexibility and accuracy. So the flexibility level and accuracy level are 100%, then the band score would be 9. Then rare or minor errors occur only as slips. So just as we saw for lexical resource, minor errors are acceptable, but still you can get a band 9. So this is the summary of this table what we have seen earlier. So all these are listed together, but I have separated them and I have made an effort to explaining them in an appropriate way, in a detailed way. I hope you found this helpful, mainly if you are not scoring well for writing. After understanding these criteria, I hope everyone will perform well and meet the requirements of the task and achieve your desired band score. Wishing you all the best from our team of World of English Exams. So if you found this video useful, please do like it, share it with all your friends, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel World of English Exams. Do check out our website www.worldofenglishexams.com. Thank you so much and happy preparation, guys.